Good afternoon, boys and girls. Been a few days. Um, haven't done much work on the HF rig outside. I've blown up two antennas already, putting too much power through the balance. So I have a special one being made for me, and plus it's been kind of cold, so I need to get out there and do some more work. Have some parts ordered for the 6 meter Yagi and for the 2 meter Yagi and for the A4S. So hopefully the next few weeks those will show up. In the meantime, I'm inside the shack and I've got a few things changed up and hooked up. Show where we're at. I hate that camera. I never know where I'm at. I'm not a camera person, I'm sorry. This is the radio shack. These are the amplifiers. 432, 1 kilowatt. It's not hooked up right now. I don't even have an antenna hooked up, so I've run the cable to it. 2 meter is hooked up, but I need to find the key line that goes in the back of the 9700. It's still buried in boxes, and the 6 meter is operational. The HF 1.8 to 6 is operational. It kicks out about 1300 watts in the lower bands. It'll reach 1100 in the upper bands, and run all day long. 2 meters. One is for the HF radio, and the top one is for the 2 meter. And I have another one for the other bands, but since they're not hooked up, I don't have it hooked up yet. Switching power supply that runs the radios. There's another one on the other side over here. Kenwood speaker, because I used to have two TS 2000X's and they seem to match pretty damn close. I just left them. 220 transverter. I hardly ever turn it on, but it works. I have a loop I run for VHF contests, and of course the 9700 and the 7300, the twin set. They're all on FT8 right now. I jump around through the day. I'll leave on FT8 to know when the bands are open. That's so I can switch the high-all microphone and the headset between whichever radio I want. I want to switch microphones. Another speaker for the 7300. DC rotor controller. It's not hooked up. It's sitting there, but the rotor is on the tower, but there's no Yagis up there, so just haven't hooked it up yet. And that's the power supply for the TS2000X that runs one radio, and the other switching power supply runs the other radio, and there's an Anderson connector strip in the back that runs the lights and the meters. And this little box up here is just an AV sound switch. And if you know anything about a 9700, the external amp key lines, there is only one key line that comes out. So when you want to switch amps, it's kind of weird, but that helps me switch the amps on the, because of the way the key lines are set up on the 9700 for external keying. Anything on the bands here since come up. A little bit of activity on the bands, but nothing much. And we just have a local little 2 meter multi-band for local repeaters. And today I'm playing with this. This has been sitting in the... Oop, what's kicking in here? Looks like 6 meter. Something on 6 meters here. Maybe 2 meters. I don't know where it'll come from. Anyway, we're playing with this has been sitting over in the... I bought this about 2 years ago. This was one of my first rig I ever had, was a 101. And what band is kicking in? I don't see any trace lines. Nothing's decoding. It don't make any sense. Oh, hell. That's me transmitting on 2 meters. I bumped the wrong switch. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we decided to plug it in. Needs a new knob. I just ordered a new one off eBay. Or another one. There's no new ones. This one got all bent up and missing a plate. I left it in standby mode without the heaters on for about 2 hours. This is the E model, which if you're not familiar with the 101s, it means it has everything in it. The DC converter for mobile, the heavy duty fan for the tubes, and speech processor. This is an earlier E model, as it doesn't have the speech processor adjustment knob on the outside. It's on the inside. Always blanket. There's a processor. It's on the inside instead of the outside. But once you set it, you don't really need nothing. Seems to work. The problem is I'm on 10A, which should be the lower ham band, and I'm picking up some chicken banders running AM, so I assume this was once used for CB and they moved the crystals around or replaced a couple of crystals, so I'm gonna have to pull the crystals out and see what's there. But it's running off one of the antenna, the 80 meter antenna, and it's picking up. It works on all the bands, and I fired up the heaters. Nothing smoked, and after about a minute I could see the finals glowing in there. You can probably see them start to glow in there. So, and the smoke's not coming out, so it's working. I don't have a microphone. I do have a key, but again, the HF antennas are fried for transmit. They're working okay, but they're getting really high SWR on transmits because I forgot where the amplifier was, and I overloaded the ballon, and I think I saturated them. Anyway, but along with that one, we have the external VFO missing a knob. I have another one coming. I ordered 2 of them today. That's the other meter for the 432 band. And over here we have the external speaker and landline. And here we have the digital display. For those that don't know, this is a digital display. It is not a frequency counter. All it does is show the frequency that's on the radio instead of using the dial. It'll actually show you the radio. And this little meter is for my 430. This is for the 1296, which needs to be set up also. In these piles here, these are mostly radio components, and there's another pile over there. That's my 200-gallon fish tank that has not been set up yet. And this is the radio room. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the lineup, do some adjusting around here. I don't know how I'm gonna fit it, but we're gonna hook it all up. Maybe stick a 75 meter dedicated dipole on it. They sound great on AM. I love talking on these things on AM. I had the complete line with the amplifiers, the scope, the transverters for 2 and 6. I had the matching twin transmitter and receiver. I had the complete line at one time. It's on my website if you go look at past stations. It took a 8-foot table and filled it, and still had not room for all of the equipment. That was my passion one time, to collect the whole line from the catalog, and I did it. and then I got divorced and away it went. So we're gonna go look for a D104 to put on this baby without, it hadn't been modified with a stupid Roger beep and crap, and just a good old stock D104, because these radios are beautiful AM signals. And I play a lot. Really, I spend more time on 75 meters than I do any other band besides 6 and 2. I don't really play on the other bands, and just the nostalgia. There's a top, no, there's the top to it right there. So that's today's project. Listening, yeah, chicken banders. So we'll get this in the lineup and see what we can do here. But that's where we are today. So there hasn't been any recent posts, but because there hasn't been no updates, but that's where we're at. I have a gentleman making me a Ballon. He says it will rate at 5 kW on sideband, and it should hold 1 kW on digital modes without saturating the Ballons, in case I forget to flip the switch and back it down. The 7300 driving with about 10 watts will max this thing out at 1,000 watts. Same thing with 2 meter. It takes about 10-15 watts to drive it to bring it to about a kilowatt. Same thing with 70 meters. So it doesn't take much to drive them, and sometimes I'm just running 100 watts. And I forget, and I get in a hurry, and I hear a call I want, and I'll jump over here and flip the switch, and there it goes. But they're wonderful amplifiers. They're made by switch them. W6 PL. Yeah, they're on there. No, it's written on there. Where are you? W6PQL. Is that who it is? But they're custom made. They all look the same. He uses pretty much the same cabinets for everything. Some are a little bit smaller, but when you order it, he will send you a checklist of what you want. W6PQL, that's his name, and he custom orders them. I ordered these with N connectors instead of SO239s. They all have protection circuits. They all have preamp, external mass mount preamp circuits built into them. Temperature sensor. They only kick in their fans when they get to a certain temperature, and they shut themselves off, so you don't have a fan running continuously all the time. Standby modes. Beautiful amplifiers, and they're not cheap, but they are beautiful. And I still have to order the 12-996, which looks similar to, if you look at the 70 centimeter, it's even a little bit smaller. The HF one's the longest one, and then the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter are identical length and size, and the 1296 will be a little bit smaller in depth, so they'll all match. And he offers different, case covers black and different shades of grays, or whatever you want. But when he builds them, he sends you the complete test results showing what he got out on what bands, what settings, what voltages to check. They're all, beautiful amps. I looked for over 2 years for something I liked, and every time I came back to his amplifiers, and I love them. So if you're looking for an amp, just search W6PQL. He has lots of information. Lead time on each one, on one that I purchased. I actually purchased the 2 meter from another gentleman, and then I bought the HF one after that, and then I bought the 70 centimeter after that, and I'm fixing to order the 1.2 gig, and lead time is usually about 2 months. So no hurry, but I'll have all the bands then. In the meantime, this is what we're going to play with today. And try to clean this up. I don't know how I'm going to do it. That's too much stuff. But this is my radio room. And if I spin around, you'll see this desk with 2 monitors. That's where I work. I work from home. So I am always able to sit on the radio and listen to the radio and play with radios and go outside when it's nice and work, because I do work from home. I do web design and search engine marketing, so it's a nice life, I guess. Get to play and work at the same time. It's probably the longest video I've done since I've been doing this stuff. So it's 16 minutes. But that's from N5ITO, Winsboro, Texas. Have any questions or comments, or if you have some other parts of the FT-101 line that you would like to get rid of at a reasonable rate that are in good condition, let me know. I might be interested, just for collector's sake. 7-3. Till next time, please like and subscribe. Thanks.